Hello fellow coffee botherers, in this video we're going to be talking finally about the Sage Duo Temp Pro. I say finally because the Duo Temp Pro has been around for a long time and I really should have done this series ages ago. If you're wondering why I'm only doing it now, when I started the YouTube channel during the first lockdown, the Bambino Plus had already been released, so it just felt like the Duo Temp Pro was old news, to be honest. And given that it costs the same, usually, as a Bambino Plus, initially I didn't see any real reason to cover it. But what I've come to realise is that neither the Bambino or the Bambino Plus are actually upgrades to the Duo Temp Pro. They're completely different machines with different sets of features, completely different pros and cons. Yes, they occupy a similar position in the market, they're the same RRP, but they're different. It's only really since getting hold of one and finding out why people keep going on about this machine that I really got it. So thanks for that. We're doing a short 4-video series on the Duo Temp Pro. Number 1, the video you're watching now, overview and grinder pairings. 2, side-by-side comparisons with the Bambino and Bambino Plus. 3, dialing in and general workflow, and 4, cleaning and maintenance. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover on this machine, let me know in the comments. So let's start out with the specs. The dimensions are 33.5 centimeters tall, 26 centimeters wide, and 31 centimeters deep. It has a 1.8 litre water tank, the original 1600 watt stainless steel thermocoil, the same as the Barista Express, a PID, a temperature feedback loop, as all the Sage or Breville machines do, low pressure pre-infusion, and a Pro steam wand on a ball joint. The only buttons it has are the power button and the steam and water select button. The main interface is the dial. We simply turn it to the left for espresso and to the right for steam and water. It has a 54mm portafilter, the standard metal tamper, the razor tool, single and double traditional baskets and pressurised baskets, and in the UK at least it comes with a filter holder and filter and the Sage milk jug. The most obvious things about the Duo Temp Pro that I found impressive as soon as I got it out of the box, and these are some of the things that really set it apart from the Bambino and Bambino Plus, are the decent sized 1.8 litre water tank that has this really nice quick release, easy access handle, and that makes it really simple to remove and replace the water tank. This is the same system as the Barista range and it works very well. The drip tray has a generous half-litre capacity, and as with the Barista range, you have the storage tray behind it where you can store your filter baskets and so on. The portafilter is a nicer quality, more weighty portafilter with a metal splitter, not the plasticky one with the stubby spouts that you get with the Bambino and Bambino Plus. The tamper slots into the magnetic tamper slot as with the Barista range, and the machine, although it's light, has a slightly wider footprint than the Bambino and Bambino Plus, so it feels a bit more secure on the worktop. It doesn't quite move around as much while you're using it. In the next video, I'll do side-by-side comparisons with the Bambino and Bambino Plus, and I'll make coffees with both of them and explain all the differences in more detail. So subscribe and allow notifications to see that when it drops or lands or pops up or whatever videos do. I'll make a coffee with it now while I'm talking about what it's like to use, and this is where I think it's really quite a different machine to the Bambinos. It's all manual apart from pre-infusion. The pre-infusion is automated about 8 seconds, but pulling the shot is completely manual. There's no shot buttons. If you're someone who wants to pull manual shots, I think this is perfect, as you're in complete control via this really simple dial. In the middle, it's on standby. You turn it to the left to start the shot, turn it back into the middle to stop the shot, and then turn it to the right for steam or water. And you toggle between these with the selector button. This kind of manual control I think has a lot going for it. Volumetric or timed buttons are handy, but they can cause confusion too. One of the most common emails I get for advice is relating to the fact that people are using their machine with a factory preset volume. If you're using volumetric buttons, you have to reset them to your target yield to achieve the ratio you're aiming for. And most people, when they first get their machines, don't realise that. They just assume that if they're pulling a double shot, they should just press the double shot button, which would make sense, but it's not the case. So with this, as with machines like the Gaggia Classic, where there's a simple on-off switch for the espresso, it's really simple. You control the yield, the amount of espresso, yourself. So for example, you might start out aiming for a 1:2 ratio, an 18 gram dose to a 36 gram shot, and then if you think that needs tweaking as part of the dialing in process, you can just stop the shot at 30 grams if you want to try a smaller ratio, or at 50 grams if you want to try a 1:3, for example. For more on ratio and other aspects of dialing in, see this series. For milk, you just turn it to the right and select steam with the selector button, and the steam is just as impressive as with all the other Sage machines. It's a really forgiving process with this machine, very easy to learn on, and ghost steaming is very much doable. I'll just quickly talk about grinders. This comes with pressurised baskets as well as standard, so you can use pre-ground if you must, but I'd hugely advise against it. Even if you do want to take the easier road and use the pressurised baskets, as I know some people do, I'd still highly recommend grinding your own, simply because you just can't experience the best possible freshly brewed espresso if it's pre-ground. If you're going to use the dual-walled pressurised baskets, then you'll get away with the likes of the Gaggia MD15, Baratza Encore, Wilfer and so on, but the best results will come via pairing with a more espresso-capable grinder and using the traditional baskets that also comes with it. If you're going to use the traditional baskets and put a bit more effort into dialing in, the obvious pairings for this are the Sage or Breville Dose Control Pro or Smart Grinder Pro, but the recently released Baratza Encore ESP would also pair well with the Duo Temp Pro. I've just released a video on the ESP here. If you didn't spot that, you probably aren't subscribed, which brings me to the fact that YouTube is notifying me 88.3% of you watching now are not subscribed. So subscribe! They would be my main entry-level pairing suggestions. If you want to throw a bit more money at the grinder, and I would recommend that if you can, then see this playlist of grinder videos and also see coffeeblog.co.uk/grinders. So overall, if you're someone who wants a really simple to use espresso machine at an entry-level price, I think the Duo Temp Pro has a lot going for it. And as I've said, I do think it offers quite a different set of features to the Bambino and Bambino Plus. But I'll go into that in more detail in the next video in this series. At RRP, this is £399 in the UK at present, $499 in America, $529 in Australia. Even at RRP, in the UK this is very competitively priced. Other than the Bambino and Bambino Plus, there's really not much that I think really competes with it at the same price. The obvious comparison is a Gaggia Classic. They're both manual machines, but at RRP this is about £100 cheaper, and you can often get it much cheaper than this if you're patient enough and wait for deals to drop. I regularly see this on offer at retailers including Currys, Argos, John Lewis, Amazon and directly from Sage appliances for under £300. By the way, in case you're not aware, I sometimes have discount codes to share from Sage appliances in the UK, Ireland, Germany, France and other countries in mainland Europe. If you click the link in the description below to join my Brewtime mailing list, you'll get all of the discount codes I have to share. You'll also be notified of the current giveaway and all future giveaways when you do that, so that's definitely worth doing if you're in the UK or mainland Europe. Crickets are also thermometers. Seriously, Google Dolbear's Law, and that has nothing to do with clicking the like button, but click the like button if you've ever heard a cricket. You've just heard a cricket, so click it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you love coffee and enjoyed this video, we've got tons of content about how to make better coffee at home to take you from beginner to home barista. We've got reviews and how-tos on the most popular machines. If you like the sound of that, click on my face to subscribe. Tatty Bye!